Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. So if we haven't met before, hey, it's very nice to meet you. My name is Emma, or Miss Emma to all my Homework Club kids watching. Hey guys. And today we have a special math activity planned. But before we get to our math activity, I think I got a riddle for you all. So what is something that travels around the world but stays in one spot? You think you know? I know, but we'll see if you know at the end of the video. Let's get to our math activity. So there are a few things you'll be needing for our activity today, which is a math game. So for our game today, you'll be needing a piece of paper, a pencil, and then most importantly, these two things. A die. I have just one. That's all you need. If you have two, that's perfect. And a little board game timer. Now, if you don't have this, no worries. You can use a phone timer. You can use good old-fashioned counting. But if you do use this, my little piece of advice is make sure you put it back afterwards. Nothing is stinkier than when you go to play a board game and some of the stuff is missing and you can't play anymore. So, future you will thank current you. Make sure you put it back after we finish the math game. So, what do we do? How do we play? You roll the die twice and you decide the format you want to use. So do you want to do addition, multiplication, subtraction? It's all up to you. You decide. So you roll the die once. I just rolled a 5, so I'm going to do 5. I'm going to pick addition, so 5 plus 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Now I'm going to do that as many times as I can till the last of all this sand gets all the way down there. That is the game. It's really quite simple. You can play it with a lot of people, or you can just do it by yourself to build your skills. It's all up to you. So go have fun with it. So what are we talking about today? Our positive tip is all about positivity. Now, positivity is something a lot of people struggle with, myself included. Sometimes it's so easy to only see what's in front of us and what we are kind of stuck in that it's hard to see that light, that positivity at the end of it all. Now, it is something you have to work for. It's a muscle you have to train, but it'll get better. The more we become positive, the more we think positive, the more happy and sunshiny it'll all be. So the next time things are a little rough and tough, take it easy on yourself and cut yourself some slack. Be more positive. Things will get better. And it all starts by having that mindset. So give yourself a little break, be kind to yourself, and be a little bit more positive. Because it's no use to sweat over things you can't control, right? You only can control how you react, how you do you. So do you great and do you positively. So that's it for today. Now we can go to our book. If you guys last remember, we were reading our Mummies in the Morning book, left off on chapter 8. We were about to start chapter 9, and some crazy business was happening. Oh my goodness. So let me recap. I'll read the last few sentences of chapter 8 because I think they really set the tone of what we're going to be stepping into in chapter 9, which is called Follow the Leader. So, last few sentences of chapter 8, and we'll jump into our new chapter, which is chapter 9. All right. Just then, they heard a creaking noise. Jack and Annie turned around. They looked up the stairs. Then they watched in horror as the door slowly creaked shut. A deep sound rumbled in the distance. And then all of the torches went out. So that's what we're starting chapter 9 off with. That's real positive. Let's see if Jack and Annie can be positive in this situation. So, chapter 9, Follow the Leader. It was pitch dark. What happened? Asked Annie. I don't know. Something weird, said Jack. We've got to get out of here. Fast. Push against the door. Good idea, said Annie in a small voice. They felt their way through the darkness to the top of the stairs. "Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay," said Jack. He was trying to stay calm. "Of course," said Annie. They leaned against the wooden door and pushed. It wouldn't budge. They pushed harder. No use. Jack took a deep breath. It was getting harder to breathe and harder to stay calm. "What can we do?" asked Annie. Just rest a moment," said Jack, panting. His heart was pounding as he tried to see through the darkness. "Maybe we should start down the hall," he said. "Maybe we'll eventually come to an exit?" He wasn't sure about that, but they had no choice. "Come on," he said. "Feel the wall." Jack felt the stone as he climbed down the stairs. Annie followed. Jack started down the dark hallway. It was impossible to see anything. But he kept going, taking one step at a time, moving his hands along the wall. He went around a corner. He ran around another corner. He came to some stairs. He went up. There was a door. He pushed against it. Annie pushed too. This door wouldn't budge either. Was this the same door they had just started at? It was no use. They were trapped. Annie took his hand in the dark. She squeezed it. They stood together on top of the stairs, listening to silence. "Meow!" "Oh, man," Jack whispered. "He's back," said Annie. "Meow!" "Follow him," cried Jack. "He's going away from us." They started down the hallway, following the cat's meow. Hands against the wall, Jack and Annie stumbled through the darkness. Meow! Here are our pictures. They followed the sound all the way through the winding hallway, down, down, down. Another corner, and then another, and then, can you guess it? Another. Finally, they saw light at the end of the tunnel. They rushed forward, out into the bright sunlight. "Yay!" Annie shouted. But Jack was thinking. "Annie," he said, "how did we get out of that false passage?" "The cat," said Annie. "But how could the cat do it?" asked Jack. "Magic," said Annie. Jack frowned. "But look," said Annie. She pointed. The cat was bounding away over the sand. "Thank you," called Annie. "Thanks," Jack shouted at the cat. His black tail waved. Then he disappeared in the shimmering waves of heat. Jack looked toward the palm trees. At the top of one sat the treehouse, like a bird's nest. "Time to go home," said Jack. He and Annie set off for the palm trees. It was a long, hot walk back. At last, Annie grabbed onto the rope ladder, then Jack. Once they were inside the treehouse, Jack reached for the book about Pennsylvania. Just then, he heard a rumbling sound. The sound they had heard in the pyramid. "Look," said Annie, pointing out the window. Jack looked. A boat was beside the pyramid. It was gliding over the sand, like a boat sailing over the sea. Then it faded away into the distance. Was it a mirage? Or was the Ghost Queen finally on her way to the next life? "Home, Jack," whispered Annie. Jack opened the Pennsylvania book. He pointed at a picture of Frog Creek. "I wish I could go home," he said. The wind began to blow. The leaves began to shake. The wind blew harder. It whistled louder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. All right, so that is our chapter 9. We've got some resolution to what has happened in chapter 8. I did not know what was going to happen. Were they going to be trapped? Glad to know that they weren't. Glad to know they made it out and they're apparently on their way home. We do have one last chapter left, so join me tomorrow to catch the rest of this book, because guess what? After this, we're starting a new book. I'm very excited, but we still have to finish this. Now that we've finished our book, there's only one thing left to do. Do you remember what our riddle was? I'll remind you, just in case you forgot. What travels around the world, but only stays in one spot? Did you guess it? It's kind of a thinker. It's a stamp. Get it? Because it goes everywhere, but it's not moving unless you move it. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.